TRON's takeover of the STEEM blockchain last week. Of course, as we reported on last week, Justin Sun has acquired SteemIt Inc., the company responsible for maintaining the STEEM blockchain, as well as the biggest front-end interface to the chain itself, SteemIt.com. Now, with this whole situation comes the matter of voting rights. The STEEM community moved to institute a soft fork that blocked the ability of Justin Sun to vote on blockchain governance using his very large stake of STEEM tokens acquired in the purchase of SteemIt Inc. And that takeover has just turned hostile as Justin Sun, together with several major exchanges, executed actions which consolidated power over the governance structure of STEEM. And as of today, the majority of STEEM's witnesses have been ousted and replaced by accounts that appear to be connected to TRON. As far as the way that DPoS, Delegated Proof of Stake, works on the STEEM blockchain, you can think of them as block producers on EOS or the mining pools of Bitcoin, but they're the decision makers of the blockchain's governance. Now, Justin Sun, together with major exchanges, including Binance, Huobi, and Poloniex, participated in this takeover using STEEM held in their custody. They delegated those votes to what appears to be an account controlled by Justin Sun based on Block Explorer data. From there, Justin Sun had the voting power necessary to reorganize the blockchain governance, kicking out the majority of witnesses who opposed this takeover and undid their soft fork that neutralized the voting power of the STEEM Inc.'s cache of tokens. Ned Scott, the founder and former owner of STEEM Inc., commented on the move by TRON, seemingly in support, the tweet has been removed, seemingly in support of Justin Sun, stating that witnesses or a portion of the community literally stole SteemIt Inc.'s coins. SteemIt owed them nothing, SteemIt owes no one anything, and anything else is grasping at straws, bullying to get your way. Fact, with no pre-mine, there would have been no investors. So essentially seeming to side with Justin Sun. It seems here that the sentiment is that all of these former witnesses of the SteemIt blockchain did not have the best interest of STEEM in mind. They were only interested in their own profitability or investment status in STEEM. So Justin Sun essentially taking control of this is in the best interest of the blockchain. Seems to be the sentiment from the previous owner of SteemIt Inc., who sold it to Justin Sun. And again, this is kind of the big controversy. Is Justin Sun out to maliciously affect this? This is what the FUD is that Justin Sun has his own, malicious ideas of why he's taking over the community. Whereas, if you listen to Justin Sun's argument, his argument is that no, man, SteemIt, all of the previous witnesses were a den of thieves. They were not making interests in the best decision of the network. And so I have taken control so that I can put this house back in order, is the argument. So really interesting developments. What side you fall on it is interesting. Now, the STEEM community is outraged by Scott's comments, as they feel the founder had promised them very, very clear from the very beginning that the coins held by SteemIt Inc. would only be used to further decentralize the blockchain project, and that it would never be used in voting. Essentially, this was known from the very beginning of Steem, that the founder, that the SteemIt Inc. had enough tokens to take over the voting, but there was a gentleman's agreement that it would never be utilized. In a letter co-authored by witnesses and major stakeholders announcing last week's soft fork, they said that the Ninja Mine stake is a special case, as up to this point, it has been clearly declared on many occasions as earmarked solely for the development of the STEEM ecosystem and to be non-voting and governance issues. In a statement issued earlier today by TRON, they now intend to use SteemIt Inc.'s holdings to vote on blockchain governance matters, as well as thwart the soft fork meant to limit TRON's power, claiming that last week's soft fork was maliciously structured and may be deemed illegal and criminal. They also added, unfortunately, the witnesses' decision created a need to reclaim the stake and vote in new witnesses to usher in new policies for a healthier ecosystem and community. Now, the takeover required Justin Sun to convince major exchanges, including Binance, Huobi, and the TRON-owned Poloniex, to stake the STEEM held in their custody, so a majority vote could be held in order to remove the existing witnesses. Now, CZ, CEO of Binance, received grief from customers unhappy about his support and role in the takeover action, and he has since stated that he will reverse Binance's portion of the vote, although this will likely do little at this point, as the old witnesses have already been removed. Now, with the exchange superpowers pooling their resources together to force through a vote, 20 out of the 21 witnesses on the STEEM blockchain have been sacked. And the witnesses, assuming their positions are all accounts formed in the last 3 days by what appears to be a single TRON-controlled account. And to top it all off, SteemIt.com and SteemD, the major Steam block explorer, have been experiencing outages throughout the day over the course of the takeover. So this really brings up an interesting example because on one hand, listen, here's the thing. The blockchains or the governance structures are secure. You take a step back and look at this, right? This is a very interesting description of kind of dealing with this corporate espionage and takeover type scenario in a completely different way. Because the code was incorruptible, right? It wasn't as if the network could just be directly modified, right? Justin Sun just couldn't hack into the system, right? The network is very secure. What he had to do was essentially, use game theoretics and use overwhelming force and just the typical way that things go down, convincing other large players to support him in his kind of bid for conquest here. So regardless of whether one, agrees with Justin Sun, again, I overall do not. I'm not exactly sure what Tron's interest in the Steem blockchain is. Now, I will say that I think that Steem is quite good. Again, you guys can follow us on SteemIt. We are over there. I think that it is a fantastic opportunity for people who are already doing kind of blogging and posting articles and all of that kind of stuff, posting news, all of this kind of stuff, to get rewards for doing so in the form of Steem, which you can turn into Bitcoin, right? It is a free way to get Bitcoin, right? You don't have to buy Steem. All you have to do is participate in the network, just like you can actually participate in many of these decentralized networks and receive these kind of crypto tokens and exchange them for Bitcoin or hold them as the altcoin. It's your preference on what you think is more valuable. But it's not hard for your average everyday person to earn free Bitcoin. They just have to do things, right? Overall, this system, as opposed to the common systems that we have to engage with and get loyalty rewards, right, on platforms, is very different. On almost every store, every website, to get loyalty points, to get reward points, you have to purchase something, right? You don't have to purchase anything over on Steem, right? You don't have to purchase anything on SteemIt. You just participate in the ecosystem. Over on YouNow, to get props, to get the props token, you don't have to buy anything. You just have to participate in the ecosystem. Here on DLive, which we also rebroadcast to, you don't have to buy anything. You just have to participate in the ecosystem and you get crypto. And what you do with that crypto is on you. It unlocks rewards on the platform. You are incentivized to hold it. You can hold it as a speculative asset, or you can withdraw it and sell it for Bitcoin. It's not hard to get free Bitcoin. As opposed, this is what's really cool about cryptocurrency in general, even as opposed to your traditional Amazon rewards or, JCPenney's rewards or, Victoria's Secret rewards. You got to buy something, right, to get rewards on those things. You don't have to buy anything, right? Now, like it or not, this is the situation. Tron has regained control of Steem, so we'll just have to watch to see kind of what their plans are. I don't really know. I don't know how bad it was before. I don't know if Justin Sun wants to do this just for money. I think that he's done a pretty decent job with Tron. I know that Justin Sun's a controversial figure, so I'm definitely not going to say that I support what Justin Sun's doing here. It's just something to watch, and it's a cautionary tale about how to write governance structures, right? You guys have to remember that proof of stake is an experiment, right? So Steem is proof of stake. It's delegated proof of stake, right? And it has caused these issues. Do you know what doesn't cause these issues? Proof of work, right? Which Bitcoin is on. Now, Ethereum is making this huge bid to move toward proof of stake because they think that it is going to solve the problems. I think that it can solve. I think that they're worried about the wrong problems. Again, I think that Ethereum 2.0 is interesting and exciting. I'm very interested to see what they're going to do with the network. Very interested in their evolution as a very large blockchain project. But we know this to a fault. There's nothing more secure than the Bitcoin network. There's nothing more secure than proof of work. So why will Bitcoin never migrate from proof of work? Because the role of the Bitcoin network is securing a financial ledger, right? SteemIt, Ethereum, Tron, that's not their job, right? Their job is doing other stuff. It is not, they are not in the business of creating a money system, of creating a monetary system. Bitcoin is, and that's why they use proof of work. All these new systems, delegated proof of stake, you are giving many centralized control to validators, witnesses, whatever you want to call them, and allowing them to vote on governance issues, the Ethereum Foundation, all of these things, right? Whereas with Bitcoin, you have to participate by hashing and mining. You have to contribute work to the network. You have to secure the network. I think overall what this says is proof of stake experiments are cool, but they are an experiment because you can run into issues like this. This wouldn't happen with the proof of work blockchain.